afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining my session today. I'm really excited to be here talking to you about career changes. I can see still there are people joining. Maybe I'll wait for a few more minutes. So, career change is something which all of us go through at some point or other in our lives. Sometimes it is because of some necessity, or sometimes it is because of some choice. So whatever be the reason, let me start with asking you these two questions. So the first one, how many of you have dreamt of that career, but then you are a little overwhelmed to take that leap? Please put your answers in the chat. I would love to see that. How many of you have that dream big careers? And secondly, you know which direction you have to go, but you don't know where to start. So, if the answer to any of these questions is a yes, then you are in the right place today. So overall, in 18 years of my career experience, I have changed my profile multiple times. I have taken career breaks. I have gone to a different country and started my career from scratch. So in all these experiences, I know how does it feel to do that career transition? What are the struggles you have? And what are the questions you have? So today, let's talk about it. Let's dive in to understand why sometimes it's not about winning that race, but sometimes it's about finding that pace. So let's start with that mandatory slide, a little bit about myself. My name is Archana Maliyackal. I am working as a product manager for HSC, which is a home shopping Europe. I'm basically from India, living here in Munich with my family. I have a 5.5-year-old daughter. And if you see my experience, it's about I have changed my role, 6 different types of roles, 5 industries, 5 companies, 5 different countries, 2 breaks. That sums up my 18 years of career. And I love traveling. I'm also involved in various communities to really help people achieve their goal. So let's dive in why I choose career transition as a topic today. It's basically, it's linked back to a story. So 1.5 years before, I was working as an agile coach for one of the companies here in Germany. I had great career, which means I was supporting my organization to grow. I was having good manager. I had great salary. I had awesome colleagues. I had good work-life balance. Now, you might ask me, so what is wrong then, right? So I was having this feeling that something is missing. Although I couldn't figure out that for a longer period, what was missing in my career. I was feeling frustrated at the end of the day, not knowing the reason. So you can imagine it like, sitting inside a car with the engine turned on, but you don't know the car is not going anywhere. So it's that kind of feeling. So I started to figure out what was wrong. And then the time I had those uncertainties to where I am now, that was going in endless loops. I had questions, which is why I would like to help you with those 3 tips in today's session, which you can take in your career if you're planning to do that career transition. So step number 1, reflection. And what do you mean by reflection? Reflection is different from thinking. Thinking is something which all of us do, right? We always think about like, oh, I want to become that. I want to become this. So we always think about many things. But are we taking that conscious effort to do something there? So when you start with your reflection, ask these two questions. The first question, what values are important for you in your career? This could mean salary, a good position, flexibility, location, whatever that is. You have to identify your values. And question number 2, what energizes you at work? Now, how do you figure this out? Take an example. Think about your past 1 week or 1 month, and think about those moments which energizes you. It could be that challenge which you got. It could be that goal which you had to achieve. Or it could be something like the group of people who work together. So whatever that is, find out what energizes you at work. Because these two are very important to define where you're going next in your career. So for me, the mistake I did was I didn't do this reflection. So what happened then? I was sitting in an agile training back then. And in that training, our coach, Mr. David Lower, he asked us to do this exercise. And the exercise is called Journey Line. And what it does is you have to plot your previous career, like as you can see in this picture, in a graph, and identify those ups and downs. And this is definitely not my career journey, but then I have taken it. Identify those ups and downs in your career. So in that session, I couldn't complete the journey line of myself. However, what I did was, on that day evening, I went back and then started to fill in the details, how much ever I can. And you know what? That was an aha moment for me. Because I identified or realized that what was missing for me from a coach was the sense of accomplishment. And I'm not telling coaches cannot get it. For me, that accomplishment was my value, which was missing from that role at that company. And this is where the point where I started to think about my next steps. And another important tool which you can again use to decide if you stay in your company or not. This is called the love-learn matrix. It is from the famous squiggly careers. You search for internet, you will get that. So here, what you have to do is plot your learning in your current organization in the x-axis, and then your company, your love for your current company in the y-axis. This is a very simple technique. There are so many other tools out there. But then, if you see, let's take you the first quadrant. If you are not learning in your current company, but you still don't want to leave your company because you still love that, then think about stretching your strength. Think about another department. Think about another role which you can take up. So all these will help you to define your possibilities. And here, I would really like to emphasize, think about your possibilities and not your path, because path will always keep you fixed. And when you think about possibilities, you can think about using your talents and your strengths for your career. So now you have some possibilities in front of you. Now you have done your reflection. What's next? So I believe most of us here have seen at least one or other horror movies in our lives, right? And what happens before a scary scene which is going to happen? It is something like that, silence. And then there is a small music, and then that scary creeps in. And what exactly is that? Can somebody write it in the chat? What comes next? It's the fear. This is something which we cannot avoid. That monster which tries to pull us down, and those negative thoughts. I don't have the skill sets to do that. I don't know about these things. I don't have clarity. Or what if this fails? What if that is going to happen? All those negative thoughts, which will actually pull us back. Or it could be about a time. You can think about something like, I don't have time to do that. I'm really busy in my current project. I don't have time to look into all these. Or it could be your financial things. What will happen if I go to this new role? If my salary is going to decrease, what is going to happen? Your time with your family members, because looking for a new career and looking for a change needs a lot of time. This means you are compromising your time from somewhere or the other. And here, what you could do is dividing these into two parts. And here, what is the tool? It's called the personal toolkit. So what is personal toolkit? So let me explain. All of us, or most of us, when we go out, we carry our little handbags with us. And what do you carry in your handbags? There will be something mandatory for each one of us. For example, for me, I generally carry my lip balm or my hand cream with me most of the time when I go out. Similarly, you can create a personal toolkit for yourself. And what this toolkit contains are positive affirmations that work for you. It could be something like, I am capable of achieving my goal, or whatever that motivational statement be. Please carry it around with you, either in your mobile wallpaper. It could be your laptop wallpaper, in your mirror, in your bathroom mirror, wherever it is, because fear is going to come irrespective of what, and we have to acknowledge that. And there are so many tools out there how to handle these negative things. And this is one simple thing we can do. And I believe that, and I have done this for myself. So when you carry this, what happens is unconsciously, it gets into your mind. And the second thing is a fact sheet. So all the problems which we were talking about below, like your money, your finances, about your relationship in your family members, how it's going to impact with your new job change. So all these, you have to have a plan, like a pros and cons. What is going to happen? So write it all down, because you need to have that concrete plan to take it forward. So once you have reflected, once you have your personal toolkit, what is the next step? I see your hand is raised. Yulisa, I see your hand raised. Okay, I can't hear. Let me continue. So if you have some questions, please, I would be happy to answer that at the end. So the third and the most important step, networking and learning. Here as well, let me share some statistics. So 70% of the jobs are not even in websites. And 85% of the positions are filled via personal and professional connections. So here, to also emphasizes the importance of having that network and learning together as a community. Let me share another story. So a few months back, let me call her as Maya, not to use the right identity here. She is from US, and she was looking for a Scrum Master job in the US, and she was having an interview. So she had some specific areas where she had questions and some knowledge gaps. So she reached out to me to asking for some help. And she had specific questions like, this is what exactly I'm lacking. She had questions. We had a great discussion and she got the job. So here, I didn't know her. She didn't know me. However, what she did good was she reached out. And most importantly, whenever you go to a new career or a skill set, there will be some upskilling which is needed at some point of time. And please do not wait for all the skills or everything to be perfect to go to your next job or next role, because you can learn in between and continue your learning and continue applying for your job or career transition. So what do you want to learn? Who can help you? Identify those people. There are so many networks now, LinkedIn, or there are Slack communities where you can join, go to webinars, attend meetups. All these is going to help you. So I can also emphasize, when I got my past job, it was really through a connection. So most importantly, and what exactly do you want to learn from them? People are ready to help you. So if you reach out to somebody in some platform, people are really willing to support you, but you have to be specific. You have to be specific in what you want to learn from them. If you send a general request like, can you mentor me? Can you help me? That is so vague. They don't know how to support you. So please be specific as much as you can. So last but not the least, this is a quote told by one of my colleagues who was actually a restaurant owner who changed to a UX designer. So changing career is the art of knowing the right moment, not to abandon the ship too early, but also not to sink with it. So you identify your right moment to do things and believe in yourself. You have power to define your own success. And sometimes this means taking some risks or making some changes. And it's not about finding that new job. It's finding your pace and aligning the career with your values and goals. That is the most important thing. So don't be afraid to take a step and take those little things which I mentioned. Start with your reflection and carry that personal toolkit with you. And here we have a very strong community to support, to help each other, and to learn and utilize that. And you can definitely be a success in your career. So with this, I'm wrapping up my session today, and I'm really glad to see you all. And if you have any questions, if you need some help regarding any of the toolkits or anything, please feel free to reach out to me in LinkedIn. As I mentioned, I'm always happy to support people. Thank you so much, everybody. So let me see if I have any questions in the chat. Stop sharing. I cannot see any questions, but in case if somebody has, please feel free to write it in the chat. Thank you, Linda. Thanks for the kind words. So thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for attending the session, and wishing you a very nice rest of the day and attending the webinars. Thank you.